So unfortunately, my Nano Reef crashed. If you may or may not notice from my previous videos, it might be obvious. You could kind of see what's missing. I mean, my big toadstool is gone, mostly gone. I don't know if it'll recover. And unfortunately, my clownfish died. I mean, if I was recording a video right now, normally you would see him swimming up to the tank. It's kind of unfortunate, but essentially what happened, the synopsis of the situation is I left my tank for a week. I got one person to take care of it. My fault, I forgot to fill up the water bottle and the hamster bottle ATO on top. So I didn't get them to check on it until the 4th day. By then the water level was kind of low. I got them to fill up the water bottle, so the water level got back. I thought that was the cause of the problem because from that my tank looked in pretty poor shape. They showed me a video, but I assumed once I corrected the water level issue, things would hopefully, or the salinity issue, because that's what it was cause, things would have went back to normal. But the next day it was worse. The thing is though, I didn't think that the water level issue would have done that much damage to my tank because I've had it get lower than that before by mistake. But that wasn't actually the cause of my tank crash. What I didn't know is that the heat in the house got turned off, and the house was about 10 degrees Celsius. Now, my philosophy or my thoughts when I was setting up the tank is that I'm much better off getting a heater just enough for this tank than an oversized heater, because if a heater was to fail on, it's much more likely to kill everything in your tank than if the heater was to fail off. And if you have an oversized heater, it will do that much faster than an undersized heater. So I thought the safest thing to get would be a heater just right for your tank that keeps it at the temperature you need. So I had a 25-watt heater on this 7-gallon tank. Now, unfortunately, the heater, since it's a 25-watt, it's only meant to raise your tank temp a few degrees above room temperature. And when your house is at 10 degrees Celsius, and it could have been below that because that is what I saw when I got there. And when your tank is at your house is at 10 degrees Celsius, your heater cannot, the little 25-watt heater could not keep up with that. And the tank was it was really cold. Now, the worst thing about this, to extrapolate the problem, is I didn't know that the house temp was turned off. And when you see your tank crashing, I have my tank set up on a Wi-Fi power bar, so I could control a few things from there. When you see your tank crashing really badly, like the tank was cloudy, and you don't know the heat in your house was turned off, and basically everything on my tank is foolproof. All you have to do to take care of it is fill up the water bottle on the top. We got our filter on the left and an algae scrubber. So they showed me a video. The filter was obviously working. You couldn't mess up filling up the water bottle with water, and the light was working. So if you were to assume something to fail, it would be the heater. Now, I didn't know that house temp was off, so from my Wi-Fi power bar, I turned off the heater because I assumed that this must have failed on, because that's the only way I could see my tank crashing so badly. But unfortunately, it was because the house temp was off, and turning off the heater probably made the problem worse. And so I lost quite a few of my corals. Some made surprising recoveries, and some I'm still waiting to see. I might as well, though, walk you through what I got. So my toadstool leather coral, one of my favorite corals in this tank actually, at the back there. I am not sure if he will survive. I cut off the heads because they were melting. I was hoping that would recover. I got a little leather coral in the back. That guy looks like he's gonna survive. All my SPS are dead. Montipora digi right here. Montipora stidata, I believe, over here. I had 4 different plating Monties, which I really liked. It was a green one, a red one. No, red one, purple one. You could even see the difference in growth. I got it like with this part here. And you could see that little corners where it started to grow. It started to grow nicely. That's dead. Purple, red. I had a green one with red polyps, and also had a red one with yellow polyps back there. All my Euphyllia died, so this Euphyllia, except for this one, which made the most shocking recovery. I didn't actually expect it to survive. I got this guy at the Coral Show, Niagara Coral Show, and he surprisingly survived. He was in way worse condition, and he actually made a comeback, and it seems like all the heads survived. I mean, it looks like only this head was going to survive at one point, but they all came back, and this was all within 2 weeks, a bit less than 2 weeks, which really surprised me. But all my Euphyllia is dead. This guy on the left was Green Hammer, he died. I also had a torch coral that already threw out that died, as well as another purple hammer coral that died that already threw out. I had a little Saddlefastry at the corner there, he died. My Zoas look like they might make a comeback. This guy and this guy have already opened up before. So it looks like my Zoas make a comeback. And these guys in the corner here actually mostly survive. I forgot what this is called. Pipe organ coral survive. One of my Blasts will survive. And my Duncan survive. The one of the heads isn't doing too well. But then I had a clove polyp over here. That is completely gone. And I used to have quite a bit of pulsing Xenia growing on the glass. And that is what is left of them. Little nibs. So I don't know if they're going to come back or melt away. They've all melted away before. So that is that. Oh, also a few others that survived. My mushroom coral, as well as my mini max anemone, which is pretty cool. I just wanted to get this video out there because, I mean, I'm behind on a lot of content, and I feel like this is quite important. So I feel like it was important to update you on, even if I'm way behind in other stuff that I wanted to post. So this happened about 2 weeks ago. So what am I gonna do with this tank? Well, even though a lot of things died, especially my clownfish, that makes me sad. I am definitely not giving up on this tank. I did a few things to correct it so that issue won't happen again. I recently got an inkbird as well as an 100-watt heater. So hopefully if the house goes to 10, 100-watt heater is probably overkill for this tank. But if it was to drop the house temperature a lot, that will be fine. And if the heater was to fail on, I have my inkbird set up so that that won't happen. So if I was to recommend anything to you guys, I just recommend that you get an inkbird and play it safe. Another thing I forgot to mention in my heater story is I would have known the problem if I had a thermometer in the tank. And what's really unfortunate about this story is that I think a week before my thermometer broke in the tank, it was a glass one, just like the one right you could see in the corner right there. And it broke in the tank, and I was like, oh, I need to get another heater, but I didn't want to get another glass heater because, another thermometer, but I didn't want to get another glass thermometer because it already had one break in the tank. And temporarily, I was planning on bringing one I had home, as the one you can see on the left. Bringing one from home. So if I just had my thermometer in the tank, I would have quickly realized the problem, and I don't think I would have had close to the scale of death as I've had currently. But on the bright side about my tank, even though my fish died, all my crabs survived. I had lots of my snails die, but all my crabs survived, which was really good. So I have my Halloween hermit crab, an emerald crab, and a pom-pom crab, and they all surprisingly survived, which kind of helps cheer up the mood a bit. But other than that, it's kind of unfortunate, but if there's anything to learn from that, I'd say I'd recommend getting an inkbird.